This video will cover our SmarterMeasure paper that we have to write. So let's go into week 3 activities to take a look at the assignment. If it will open. Okay, the first thing you'll see here is a link that you can click on, and it gives you information about the assessment. You'll have to take this assessment on a separate web page, and there are links to it all over the place. But you'll need this info right here that says first time user. You'll have to select student. It gives you the password and everything. All that information is available there. It's also available right here, which is actually where you'll turn in your paper. And this tells you what I want in your paper. So first things first, let's take a look at SmarterMeasure's assessment. This is where you go online to take it. So I'm going to click on that and let it open. Okay, so I'm a first-time user, so I'm going to come over here and log in as first-time user. And I forgot what it said right here, so let's go back and look. I'm going to select student from the username menu, and then the password is A-State. So let's go to student A-State for the password, and I'm going to click login. This is where I'll enter in my personal information, and then you'll click save and continue, and then it'll pretty much just ask you a lot of questions about yourself. There are no right or wrong answers. It's all in an effort to see what you're really good at doing with regards to being an online learner and what you could use some work on as an online learner. So in any case, you'll take that assessment. There will be a report that generates after you take the assessment, and that's about a 20-page report, and it will email it to you as well. So there are several different assessments that are embedded into SmarterMeasures, the assessment that you'll take on that web page. And they're all listed right here. Kind of asks you questions to see how you'll do in all of these things. So it might ask you how well you know a computer, and to save a file or make a folder, or just basic computer operations. It will also have you take a typing test to see how fast you type and if you're accurate. It'll also ask you about your time management skills, how much time you have to devote to this, if you procrastinate, what have you. It will ask you questions about self-discipline to see if you're actually the kind of person that will log in and get the job done. And after it asks you all these questions, you'll get this report, and it'll ask you about those 7 things in there, and you'll be able to read all of your results based on these 7 things. So life factors, so if you work, if you have a family, if you have a lot of time to devote to this, your personal attributes, learning styles, how quickly you read, and if you can recall what you've read, technical competency, and technical knowledge, which is just your basic computer knowledge, and then your typing speed and accuracy. So you're going to see how you measure up on those factors right there. And for each factor, it will also have a list of websites that you can look at, that if you did not score very well in that area, you can look at these websites and it can tell you how to become better in those areas. So that's where we come into our paper. At the end of this assessment, you'll read your report, see what you did well in, and maybe some of your weaker areas, what you need to work on. And then you're going to create a paper for me, and it will be a double-spaced paper. And I want you to describe some of those websites or the resources that are available to each student for each of these 7 different items here that it assesses. And you're going to write a paragraph about each 7 of those and the resource that you chose for each one of those. So you'll have 7 paragraphs. You don't have to do an introduction or conclusion paragraph at all. But make sure that you name that the website resource that you use for each one of those, or the article name. And in each paragraph, you're going to give me a brief overview of the main message of that website, which pretty much gives advice on how you can become better in these 7 areas. So you'll have 7 paragraphs in this paper. Shouldn't be more than 3 pages in length. And I will make sure that it is graded for grammar and if you have your paragraphs there. And this is actually worth 90 points. This says 100 right here, but it's worth 90 points. You'll get 60 points if you have those 7 required paragraphs, and you'll get 30 points for grammar, punctuation, capitalization, all of that stuff if you don't have any grammatical errors. So if you have any questions about this, let me know. You take this assessment, you come in here and you can click on that link. You can even view the rubric for how you get your grade, which I pretty much just told you that. 7 paragraphs, 60 points, grammar, up to 30 points. That's how you get your 90 points. See the due date and everything. And the instructions one more time, and this is where you will actually browse your computer to select the file where you have written your paper. Add a comment if you want to. You don't have to for this class. Click submit, and that's how you will submit your paper to me to be graded. So if you have any questions about this assignment, let me know. Again, you start by taking the assessment on the website, review all of your report, and then you get in there for each different section of the 7 sections and look at some of the websites that have information about that, and that's what you write your paper on.